morning we woke up in Jasper and I took the mud flaps off the Bronco. Getting ready today, we're going to drive out to Ruby Falls, which is just south of Hinton, north of Nordegg. We were in Jasper about 3 weeks before the forest fire. This lodge was among the buildings that were burnt down. We read online that the route south of Cadomin was washed out, so we went through Coalspur to get to the north trailhead. It is an active forestry road with some fun bridge crossings. We got off the Yellowhead highway around 11 a.m. over near Hinton, headed south. We saw some deer and an elk, a couple horses, and some other things. So.
And a lot of logging.
And a lot of logging, yeah. Stopped for a lot of logging trucks. It's almost 2 o'clock now, so it took us about 3 hours to get to the north trailhead. Longer than expected, but taking it nice and slow and enjoying it. The staging area is off of Cardinal River Road. The trail length is about 20 kilometers to Ruby Falls. At this point, we aired down the tires to 22 psi. Well, we're at the first water crossing, which is supposedly the most challenging one. The rest of the creek should be pretty easy. A guy nearby said that a Jeep came through here, a Bronco came through here earlier today with 33-inch tires, and they managed to go through. I'm walking with my water shoes to see how it is. Make sure that it is passable. There's a rock here, and a bit nervous, so let's hope we're gonna go. Very happy to make that crossing. We were about 2/3 of the way when we caught up to another group. We heard from some folks earlier that this spot can be a bit difficult exiting up and out of the water. The Toyota in front, without lockers, decided to give it a go. We also don't have locking differentials, and we're curious to see if they can make it up and out. After a while without any luck, they decided to back up and reassess. Another truck headed the opposite direction came across the creek while scraping their rear tip on a rock pretty bad. They mentioned that there was a bypass through the forest not too far away. Now, when I hear the term bypass, I get the impression that this is an easier route to take around the more challenging obstacles. I figured, hey, why not? I was eager to set up camp, kick back, relax, and enjoy a few drinks. So, I chickened out. I did not even make an attempt to try to get across this creek. Juana suggested that we move some rocks to get by, and I was not listening to her. We got back into the Bronco, turned around, and backtracked a few hundred feet to a fork in the trail with a sign that read, Ruby Lakes. This was a big mistake of the trip. Deviating from the planned route in a hurry was a bad idea. Immediately, we encountered an incline that was as steep as 20 degrees. So we just drove up this, levels out, and gets steep again. This is where I should have stopped, gotten out of the truck, taken a stick, walked ahead, and poked it into the water and find it. took a wrong turn and got into some mud. So I used the winch to pull us up onto a couple traction boards, the front wheels. And we got some sacrificial snowshoes in the back to help try to get us out. Well, we drove up that and got stuck way over there. Well, I got big time. I'm a twit. So after, I don't know, an hour or two or more of mucking around in the muck, we didn't get out. We had 2 traction boards, and I had 2 pairs of old snowshoes that I tried using too, with no luck. I used a big jack to try to lift the front end out of the muck and put some stuff underneath, but no success. And also tried winching forward to get on some traction boards to get grip to go backwards a few times, and that didn't work. So then we decided to use the winch at an angle to try to get ourselves up out of the muck onto the bank. But it was too much of an angle that the cable snapped, like the synthetic rope snapped. So the winch is kaput for now. So we hiked back down. I know it's not smart to leave your vehicle, but since we were off the beaten trail, we walked back to the bypass and then came down the steep incline to the fork in the road, rolling the dice to hope that somebody's going to come. Well, obviously someone's going to come down, either to or from Ruby Falls, and then we're going to ask for some help. And yeah, hopefully we won't be here too long. We saw quite a few people on the way out, so it's probably just a matter of time. But I think it's like 7 or 8 p.m. So I've only got so much time of daylight, and then we have to make a decision. Either just keep waiting here or go back and camp in the truck in the muck and make the best of it, and then come out for help again tomorrow morning, or make a makeshift sign. I don't know yet. I'm tired. I'm catching my breath. This is where we've hiked back. Because hopefully somebody will be coming from either this direction, or from the trailhead way down there. I think we're about 2/3 down Ruby Falls Trail, so it's going to be a long night. We decided we're going to spend camp out here, but it's a matter of where we're camping. We set up camp next to the creek. This is the one where I was too scared to cross, and I was anxious and in a hurry, so we took the alternate route, which was a bad idea. And it looks like the other crew may have moved that rock that they were questionable about, so shame on me. Shame on me. Ruby Falls Trail is the red path. We got stuck just there at the crosshairs. Within the hour, Scott and Bri showed up with the truck as the sun was setting. Funny enough, Scott and I were chatting on Facebook a few days earlier. One and I were thankful, and we hopped in the back with their 2 husky dogs. Scott, what are we gonna do?
We're gonna fucking make this. Can't go back, but we can go forwards, kind of ish.
There's like a seal that I knocked off, but it'll be okay.
Turn driver, turn driver. Turn driver, turn driver. You're between those two big rocks now with the back wheel. Stop.
So I'll back up. I'll get back up onto this a little bit and I'll try and shunt over to get this tire on there. And then I should clear that rock. You know, it's almost on that. It might hit that. I don't know, it's close to that diff too. Okay, let me know. I'm gonna try and go forwards up, forwards a little bit to the right.
You need to get your right rear higher by an inch or two.
Right over to the left.
Your diff cleared the rock, you're good. Yes, you can. You're ½ inch above the rock.
Good?
Yeah, you're really good.
Stop.
Yeah, stop now.
Try and get, I put a lot of rocks here
Yep,
to clear this.
yeah,
That will bring me up. Let's start building that up,
yeah.
I think.
We'll find out.
I'm gonna go ahead.
You're good. You're good. Okay with pinstripes. Your water bottle's gonna clear it if it cracks the tree. Maybe. See if we can snap this. This is the one. This one's. That big one is what you get hung up on.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how deep this is, but then you might have to see how the
Put one tire on
one
there.
tire on that, but you don't want to slide over to the left.
Oh yeah, I see that. You want to tie. You're gonna try to get a tire right there.
Yeah, and then you maybe hit these.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like there's a running board here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Someone lost a running board.
So like, you come in tire here like those guys did.
Like here, or like on top of this.
Don't go too high because you're gonna see it might slide.
Okay.
And then use
Should I
that.
put like once I get to this point though?
Well, I guess you can stay on this. Look how thick, wide this is. Yeah. So you do want to be on top of this then.
Okay, with one tire.
Yeah. But then the weather tires. On there.
Okay. Okay.
And then I think once you get through this, you're fine.
Yeah.
At least around to the next problem.
Yeah.
Because look, this guy's got a tire tread.
Yeah.
You're right. He totally came up.
Okay. I'll keep.
It just look. See how they came in. They climbed it right here.
Yeah.
Because if you get up here and slide over.
Like climb right here. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, that's gonna be challenging. I'll go get a radio.
So now you'll be coming up onto the hump. Yeah, you're good.
Dodge that rock. And whatever that rock.
But it looks like those rocks almost border the crossing. Almost.
That's heavy. Well,
So we got stuck at about 6 o'clock. Fortunately, Scott and Bri showed up and gave us a lift. We didn't get to camp until about 12:30 in the morning. It's pretty late. It took longer than we all expected. We quickly got the campfire going, had dinner, had a couple drinks. Fortunately, Scott and Bri had a pop-up gazebo, a little propane stove to keep us warm, and very fortunate to run into them. Juana curled up on a fold-out Kuma love seat and tried to get some sleep. I spent most of the night with a hatchet and bear spray at my side as I kept the fire going to stay warm. The campsite is located at the edge of the Cold Branch public use zone, and motorized vehicles are not permitted past this point. Well, it's been fun watching the sun come up as it goes and bounces off the mountains. It's 8:30 in the morning, and the sun finally reached our campsite. It'll be nice to warm up with some solar rays. My priority was to hopefully find someone with a two-door Jeep, something nimble enough to make it up the hill in between those two tight trees. The wheelbase on Scott's truck was too long to get to the Bronco, and he had enough to worry about trying to secure his rear drive shaft ring that was rattling around. There was another four-door Bronco at the site that morning, but he knew the spot where I was stuck and was surprised that we fitted up through the two trees on the way there. His rooftop tent made him too top-heavy, so it was not a good idea to try to attempt the recovery. As we were making our coffee, there was an impressive Can-Am Maverick R side-by-side that came ripping up to the campsite that Sunday morning. With a quick introduction, Paul said he knew the spot and offered his help. He was camping not too far away from the trailhead and was more interested in the ride in and out, without much interest sticking around too long to watch the waterfall. I knew we had a lot of work cut out for us, so I quickly finished my coffee and snapped a few pictures of Ruby Falls before hopping into it side-by-side. Scott and Bri had their drone and managed to record this amazing content. Big thank you to both of them for sharing their recordings for this video. Paul's Maverick R is crazy. He had no problem gunning it while we flew over rocks. I didn't record much video as I held on for my life. He apologized for having to slow down at the puddles. Jeez Louise! It felt like I was in an off-roading Batmobile. Paul decided to take the scenic route and approach the trail to Ruby Lakes from the back or west side. He mentioned that this was an easier approach than the direction he took. There were multiple different spur trails, and we got a bit lost trying to find the one. After checking the Onyx map, we found the right direction. The Ruby Lakes trail was rough and muddy. Looking back, if we didn't get the Bronco stuck where we did, it would just have been a matter of time until we would have got it stuck somewhere else along that trail. This is the way I went.
This is the way you went?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I know where
It's tilty.
I know where you are.
There I am.
That's where I got. Oh, shit. You took a wrong turn too.
Yeah, I did. Big time.
I've been here before, but only with side by side.
Yeah. That's me. We hooked up a kinetic rope and I started shoveling. The mud solidified overnight and became more of a clay instead of liquid. The side-by-side did not have enough mass to pull me out on its own. Paul was very patient and said if we could move an inch, then there would be hope of getting out. And we fought for every inch. We went back and forth between shoveling and pulling. My shovel snapped after a while, and thankfully Paul had another one that he could lend me. We did manage to move the truck a bit, so we just kept at her. So this is the muck hole that we were in. or I was in. And thanks to the power of Paul,
Yeah, with the shoelace. Pull it out.
pulled it out with his side-by-side. So we're out. It only took
A few hours.
a few hours, yeah. Well, we made it out of the mud hole, and now we got to go back up that sketchy hill that we got here before. So it came up the first part, and now we got to get down the real sketchy part. Came up this, now we got to get down this between the trees. Didn't hit them before. We'll see how it goes. I decided to use Ford Trail Control, which is an off-road cruise control system that handles acceleration and braking in extreme conditions. So that the driver can focus on steering, it works similar to a highway adaptive cruise control system, but operates only in low-speed off-road situations. You could feel and hear the brakes. There was no sight of Scott's GMC Sierra when we got back to the Ruby Falls Trail. So I parked the Bronco and hopped back into Paul's side-by-side as we headed back towards the campsite. They were not too far away, and now we needed to figure out how to make it back through the waterfalls. Paul stuck around to ensure we made it across. I forgot to hit the record button and didn't manage to record his truck crossing. Now that the hard parts were in the past, we relaxed a bit and took our time enjoying the ride out. We fired up the drone to capture more of the scenery as we headed back. It was a stressful trip with many mixed emotions. We had a lot of fun, up until I irrationally decided to go off the plan. I was worried if we didn't get the Bronco out that Sunday, then we would need to hitch a ride back to the city for one of the fly home to make it back to work, and me to stick around for another few days trying to figure out a recovery plan. I learned a lot of lessons and was very lucky that we met up with some generous people who were able to help. We heard that this is an easy trail in the summer, and I still agree with that if you tackle it as a group during the day when the sun's up. We made it back to the trailhead around 7 p.m. Scott used some zip ties to re-secure his drive shaft ring. We said our goodbyes and got back on the gravel road headed south to Nordegg. This was at the end of our trip. We rolled into Rocky Mountain House in the dark after the sunset, and were very glad to have a good night's sleep before having to drive all the way back to Winnipeg.
Well, the inside of Bubbles the Bronco is caked with mud. And I kind of gave up on the organized packing job. Shit show back there. Here's the traction boards, still covered in mud. And I got 3 out of 4 snowshoes. So it's going to be no fun to clean.
Thank you for watching. Tell us what we did wrong below in the comments. This is our first video, so hit subscribe if you want to see me make more dumb mistakes.